We behind the scenes, my people. Boxing for breakfast. About to go down. Tune in, man, because we saw what happened yesterday. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. It played out the way that it was supposed to. A lot of conspiracies, a lot of goofballery behind the fight before the fight took place. But you saw it. Anthony Joshua did what he was supposed to do. So my peoples, boxing for breakfast is gonna kick off in a few minutes. Stay tuned, y'all. This is the behind the scenes. We'll go to Box Center with Jay Smith, and we're gonna get down. My brother Sai, salute my guy. You already know this is the behind the scenes. In Box Center with Jay Smith, we getting down, my brother. We gotta talk about what happened yesterday. See y'all in a few, man. Whoa, grab my stuff. Hold on, my peoples. We getting down today. Y'all saw what happened yesterday. Toy Mafia, my G. Bam! In the building. We about to go live, my peoples. And y'all know we have to talk about the whole situation from yesterday. I'll be right there, Ryan. People, we starting in a few. Get ready for the smoke. My peoples, my peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what it is, my people. We talking boxing. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, they finally fought. Finally went down. People been asking Jake Paul, fight a real fighter. Fight somebody that gives you a competition. And who does he fight? Anthony Joshua. Now, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding this fight. From the moment they said they was gonna fight, people said it wasn't real. Right away, the narrative started. It's scripted. It's not real. They're not really gonna fight. Um, people were saying this fight was never gonna happen. They were saying Jake Paul was gonna pull out. They were saying that this was just for clout. This could never happen. Now, very early on, I hate to toot my own horn, but very early on, as soon as they said it was real and it was going into the box rec, I told people this fight was happening. So people listen. We've been following Joshua's been about a guy that's been about the fight game. It's a guy who's been about integrity. It's a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. A guy who has the amateur pedigree. Remember, AJ won an Olympic gold medal as well. So when this guy says, I signed a contract, I'm gonna fight Jake Paul, it's in the box rec, they're gonna fight each other. Right away, I told you guys, this fight is gonna happen. So for the people who told me, nah, listen, man, I won't believe it until they're in the ring together. Well, I hope you believed it when they got in the ring. But the whole narrative has been, is it real? Is it not real? Are they gonna fight? Are they not gonna fight? And what did I say was going to happen? Exactly what happened in that fight. So salute to everybody tuning in. Sai is in the building. The J, Michael, John Paraman, the building. Corey B, salute my brother. MS in the building. My peoples, I'm gonna give you the serious breakdown. You better hit that like button. No ghost watching. Daniel LeBron is in the building. Salute my brother. Man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I see y'all been going at it since way before the show kicked off. I'm gonna give you guys the breakdown. I'm gonna let you know exactly what took place yesterday between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. By the way, subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Goofiest of the Oofiest will be live on Monday. And guess who's our nominee for Goofiest of the Oofiest? Jake Paul. But we'll get to that later. I digress. What happened in the fight yesterday? I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. And I said this to all my people who said that Jake Paul got to get knocked out in the first round or the second round. I said, listen, if he goes in using survival tactics, my peoples, I'm gonna have to look for the video because I've been telling you this for a couple of weeks. So I'm just gonna repeat what I've been saying. You guys know you watching Jay Stradamus at play right now. This is not Jay talking to you. This is not Jay Smith. This is Jay Stradamus. Keep that in mind. I've been telling you guys, Jake Paul is not gonna get knocked out early if he's gonna use survival tactics such as using the footwork to move around and make AJ chase him and the clinch it. He's gonna jab and clinch, grab, maybe take a punch or two, grab, and move around a lot. Survival tactics. And what did we see? Round number one, Jake Paul literally running around, AJ chasing him. Now, there's something that boxing fans love to throw out there when they fits their narrative. But when it doesn't fit your narrative, you stay quiet about it. How come you guys haven't said nothing about AJ haven't been in the ring in over a year? AJ hasn't been in the ring since what, September of last year? A year and 3 months. AJ has not been in the ring. Oh, but this time around, because that doesn't fit your narrative, you don't want to take it into consideration. Now you're like, oh, but AJ looked awkward and he looked like he was scripted. Oh, if it would have been your favorite fighter at your favorite time, you would have been like, nah, yo, he ain't fighting over a year. Come on now, he got that ring rust. He got to get back in it. How about this not your favorite fighter? Or this not what you wanted it to be? So now the ring rust, it don't exist to you anymore. There's no such thing as ring rust to you for this fight. But let the expert tell you. Let Jake Stradamus tell you. Of course, the guy hasn't been in the ring in over a year, and he has a smaller, lighter fighter who's literally running around the ring. And one jab and running some more. So my brother MS, you say AJ who goes with the biggest and strongest and most dangerous fighters, blow to blow. It's hard to go blow to blow with somebody that's running for you like that. You have to understand that. If a fighter does not engage you, how exactly do you knock him out? You chasing him around and shit. And that's exactly what AJ was doing, chasing him around, pacing him. But what happened? Jake Paul, because he used so much movement to stay away from the bigger, stronger guy, he gassed out. He gassed out. So what did he start doing? He started clinching more and dropping to the floor. Gassed out. Now, what was he doing when he was dropping to the floor? Rolling around like a goofball. He was trying to buy himself time. Was absolutely engagement. But ultimately, when he ran out of gas, he could no longer bounce around the ring and make AJ chase him like he did in the first 4 rounds. So what he started doing, he started trying to jab and grab, jab and grab. That wasn't going to work. Jake Paul was a fighter that was absolutely outclassed. Absolutely outclassed. And you know when he realized that he was outclassed? In round number one. In round number one, there was an exchange where Jake Paul tried to lunge in, throw like 3 punches, like real fast. And in between those 3 punches, AJ said, bang! Caught him with a right. And he used the footwork to get away. But that very moment in the first round, Jake Paul knew, damn, I'm outclassed by a lot. You see the thing, when you're just watching, you have your expectations of what you think. But I've been in the ring and I've been outclassed. And I know what it is to look sharp, to look good against somebody that's around my level. My little step back, slip, and then I'm outclassed. So now when I try to do that same slip, fun. What the hell just happened? Jake Paul experienced that same feeling. And I told you guys yesterday, Jake Paul been in training camp and he's in there with heavyweights, but there's a big difference when you're in training camp. You there with somebody that's not gonna knock you out. You there with somebody that's not gonna hurt you. He's on payroll. He's there to help you. He's there to help you go up. So you're never going to experience something like getting in the ring in a professional fight until you do it. All that training camp, that's where you prepare. But if you don't have the skill set, or the level of your opponent, this is exactly what's supposed to happen. I want you guys to think about this, right? You start picking at a lot of details that you want to turn it into what you want to believe. But let's just look at the facts. A guy with a little bit of experience for a guy with a lot of experience. A guy that's never fought for a title for a two-time champion of the world. Exactly what was supposed to happen happened. And you still don't want to believe in my people. Let that sizzle in your spirit. You grab all these little details and say, no, 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 look, all these little things mean that it's probably it could be scripted. But let's just look at the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the facts. The facts are that the two-time heavyweight champion of the world knocked out the guy that we all expected he would knock out. What exactly should be fake about that? The details that you want to be fake. It was a real fight. And Anthony Joshua absolutely pulverized Jake Paul. Wait till you guys. And you know what's crazy? That's why I'm talking to you as Jay Stradamus. What did I say yesterday? Yesterday I said it on Boxing for Breakfast, and I said it at night. I said Anthony Joshua is gonna knock Jake Paul out brutally, and y'all still gonna say it was fake. This guy's jaw. I mean, John Powell. You can call it what you want, but look, when he opened his mouth like that, you see his jawline like that sunk in. AJ broke that man's jaw inward. Let me tell you something. Sometimes people's jaw get broken, that they get punched, and simply the jaw goes like that, come, and it snaps. Come. Jake Paul's jaw did that. It snapped to the side, right? But the punch was so hard that his gum line, and his teeth up here, those shits dented inwards like that. This dude's gonna need surgery, and y'all still think it's fake. That shit is nasty work, y'all. Nasty work. This dude in the hospital getting surgery with a gum line that is indented. That shows you, my people, that you wanna believe in something. You just wanna believe it no matter what. And I said it yesterday. Remember that. I'm just saying. Yesterday I said Jake Paul is gonna get knocked out brutally, and people still gonna say it's scripted. How you see this man mouth like that, broken brutally, and you think it's scripted? You already wanted to believe that. Victor J. Francis arguably beat Tyson Fury. AJ flatlined Francis. Jay got backup from that power. I mean, listen, Jake Paul is like I said, he lost the way that he was supposed to lose. That's it. That is the way that he was supposed to lose. What happened is what was supposed to happen. Like, this guy's an overwhelming favorite to knock Jake Paul out. He knocks him out like he was supposed to, and people still don't believe it. Come on now. John Pound. So you don't think they had no discussion about how the fight was supposed to go? Definitely had no discussion about how the fight was supposed to go. I'm sure they had no discussion about how it was supposed to go. And I'm 100% sure Jake Paul didn't think he was going to walk out of it with a broken jaw and intent to come out. Hell no. It's a nice look. Conspiracies make things more interesting. It makes it interesting to start assuming something that fits that narrative. But what really happened is what was supposed to happen. The conspiracies are crazy. Sam Hyde, technically, it was a stoppage. I mean, not technically. Look, let me tell you something, my people. And you go check out. I called the fight live. From Jake Paul ran out of gas. You see how he was moving around the ring? All of that. After round number 4, he was cooked, completely cooked. His legs was gone. And you see, that's the one thing as a fighter I can tell you I noticed right away. Jake Paul went from the wide stance, from the wide stance that allowed him to move around to just standing up. Now he was just standing up. That's it. When you see a fighter who's fighting like this, and you see the legs and the movement, and then you see that they stand up, and now they fighting standing up. The legs is cooked. That's it. They done. His legs was absolutely jelly from all. So the plan was we're gonna run around, we're gonna make him chasers, and he's gonna gas out. And there was people even saying it during the live. Yo, he's gonna gas out. Watch, he's gonna gas out, and he's gonna get power time. Did you guys not see? Look how easy. What was happening? I was calling it, and I was seeing it real time. Jake Paul moving around, and then he would lunge in with a jab, bang, bang, and then try to move around again. And then he would lunge in with a jab and a looping right hand, bang, bang, and then back out again. He thought he was going to be able to do that and eventually gas AJ out, and that wasn't going to happen. And I told you guys, a championship caliber fighter in an 8 rounder, he's not going to gas out. AJ done been there for 12 rounds, banging it out with the bangers, slugging it out with the sluggers. He gonna gas out in an 8 rounder? Of course not. Of course AJ wasn't gonna gas out. So what really happened is that Jake Paul was bouncing around, ran out of gas, and when he ran out of gas and tried to resort to clinching and falling to the floor like a goofball, he was buying time. Did you guys not see when he tried to act like his leg wasn't good? Yo, he was dying to quit at that point already. Because he knew I'm outclassed and I'm out of energy. I'm cooked. He already knew what was coming. Jake Paul couldn't wait for that fight to end. By the time he got knocked out, trust me, he wanted out. I can see that he wanted out. So oh no. Stupples, Jake Paul made 90 mils. How is he a good boy? No. When it comes to business, Jake Paul is one of the best businessmen in boxing. But him actually saying that he's gonna beat Anthony Joshua, like, and if he's believing it, he a goofball. He a goofball. And he was out there looking like a goofball, rolling around the floor. Y'all didn't see when he looked awkward throwing punches too? Looking scared. You think if it was scripted, he would have been throwing those punches? Listen, yesterday we're gonna be playing this thing forever. If I'm gonna tell you how the fight would have really played out if it was scripted. If this fight was scripted, Jake Paul would have been competitive. If it was scripted, Jake Paul would have been landing some good jabs and had AJ moving. If this fight was scripted, Jake Paul would have had some highlight moments that we could have been looking at today. And we're like, yo, but you think that Jake Paul was gonna script a fight where he gonna look like a goofball and ultimately get his jaw broken brutally? Come on, my people. Come on, my people. What? Who the hell? A guy of Jake Paul's stature, who's making as much money as he's making, who's doing what he's doing in boxing, he's gonna script a fight where he's gonna look like a dummy, getting beat up out there, and ultimately land in a surgery bed in a hospital? Come on, my peoples. Come on, my peoples. What's scripted about that? Like, there's absolutely nothing about the way that this fight played out from the first presser up until yesterday. Nothing that looks scripted. Other than we think, and you start, theorizing and putting all these things. out of thin air, literally, to say, look, it was scripted. Come on, man. Shot guy. It's possible for Jake to win. Not versus a world champion. It's not possible. He ain't beating no world champion. He not. He not that type of fighter. He's making millions, no doubt. And he's gonna continue to make $1 million. Because I told people, Jake Paul losing is not gonna make his stocks drop. It's not. Because then we also have to accept this guy stepped in the ring with AJ. He says that now he's gonna go for a cruiserweight title. He's gonna get beat up in that division too. Any division that he can make the weight and fight a world champion, he getting beat up. Because you have to understand, Jake Paul couldn't even beat the guys that you normally have to beat to get a shot. He just got the level of popularity. That's it. That's all it is. Fight Night Frank, as a pure real boxing fan, thank God AJ beat his ass. You will not see Jake in boxing again. So I gotta tell you, my brother, a lot of people wrote to me, and even yesterday in the chat said they felt a sense of satisfaction finally seeing Jake Paul get knocked out. But I gotta tell you, my brother, you'll see him again. He's not going anywhere. Trust me. You'll see him again, and you'll see him again in big fights because it's a business. And other boxers, look how many people calling out Jake Paul. Even Tim Bradley, bro. Tim Bradley's out there. I'll fight Jake Paul and this guy at the same time, but it gotta be both of them. It gotta be both of them. I'll fight. Like that should look goofy as hell, but everybody wanna fight Jake Paul because it represents a big money fight on a big stage. So I'm sorry, my brother, to tell you, but you will see Jake Paul again. Sam Hyde, why did he cuss weight and fights Canelo? He get beat up. Jake Paul cannot look. I expected a brutal knockout, and I said it over and over and over because there's too much of a gap in skills between Paul and Joshua. It's too much. It's the only thing we should have expected. And when it happens, people still think it's scripted. Get it? I don't know what to tell you, my peoples. Salute to everybody tuning in on Box Center with Jay Smith. Salute to everybody tuning in on the behind the scenes, Box Center 2.0. My people, subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Goofiest of the Oofiest is going to be lit on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Jake Paul is the nominee for Goofiest of the Oofiest. For trying to convince us that he could beat AJ, for trying to convince us that he's one of the best, and getting beat up the way he got beat up, rolling around the floor like a golf ball, he's being nominated Goofiest of the Oofiest. We got to talk about this on Monday. Some guy, the skill guy, goddamn, I lost it. Some guy, the skill guy was insane. AJ tried like 25%. I don't think AJ tried like 25%. I think he was just waiting to catch him. I'm going to catch you. All this running that you're doing in these early, you ain't going to keep that up for 8. USA, fight was fixed again against Paul. Sam Hyde, Fury will have slept him and won. You forgot that Fury got beat up by Francis Ngannou? Forget that. Base por vida. Crawford needs to fight Jake to prove he's the best. You need a 24-hour break to prove that you're not a goofball. David Rodriguez, I'm sorry. Boston is for still alive for the elder generation. I don't understand why would you say the elder generation. Shakur Stevenson is 28 years old. Devin Haney's 28. Teofimo Lopez is like 28. Bam Rodriguez is like 25. What are you talking about? Carmel Moulton isn't even 21 years old yet. Abdullah Mason isn't even 22 years old yet. Man, there's a lot of great young talent out there. I'm not sure. You got me confused, fam. Bill, I never instinctual need to wanna. I don't know, man. I don't know. Daniel LeBron, Tim Bradley is a real goofball and a biased commentator, man. Tim Bias do be biased. He do be super, super biased. And now he talking about he want to fight Jake Paul. Come on, David Rodriguez. But it will die with you guys. You're think about it. You're here talking boxing. You're here talking boxing. Exile, John Parham. He probably asked the last 4 rounds till he really started boxing. Ooh, the conspiracies. I mean, look, I understand that the conspiracies make it more interesting. With the conspiracies, you have more of a storyline. But at the end of the day, come on, my people. Look at that broken jaw. The gum line is twisted to the inside, my people. John Parham, I think AJ was fighting 70% at best. Well, I think if you watch any fight in the first round, second round, nobody's out going at 100%. So that's the process of feeling each other out and figuring everything out. So I think that's fair. Take some time to work yourself in, especially after over a year of inactivity, which I know you guys want to disregard, doesn't really fit the narrative and whatnot. Shot guy. I love to see any of these people running their mouth. Box Jake. So, Shot guy, I just got to tell you, Jake Paul knocks out everybody in this chat. Jake Paul knocks out everybody in this chat. Unless we got a pro fighter in here around that weight class, Jake Paul knock out everybody in this chat. Brutally. Brutally. The outside sports. Whoa, a professional versus amateur. Next subject. Well, Jake Paul is a professional fighter. And there's people out here who actually gave him a chance. They were like, yo, this guy, he got it. He gonna upset. Do you know how many people put money on Jake Paul? How many people put money on Jake Paul thinking that he was gonna pull off the massive upset? People going on social media and and these boxing YouTubers that don't know shit about boxing, telling you guys about how they know the fix is in and watch Jake Paul's gonna pull off the biggest win in boxing history and flip everything upside down. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look what Anthony Joshua did. And I said it yesterday. He's gonna knock him out brutally. And people still gonna say the fight is scripted. How can you look at Jake Paul, mouthpiece? Look, my people. My man's gum line is indented. And I'm gonna tell you once again, when you get your jaw broken, right? You can get punched and your jaw go like that to the side, chop, right? And it snaps and you got your jaw broken. AJ punched Jake Paul so hard that it pushes shit to the side, but he indented his gum line. Look at his gum. His whole gum line and teeth is twisted to the inside. And people still think it's scripted, yo. Jake Paul planned to get himself sent to the hospital brutally by a guy outweighing him by 30 pounds. Not only that, listen, if you think the fight is scripted, I want you to take this into consideration. Don't you think Jake Paul would have scripted the fight so he could look good? James Hurtado, Jake Paul is surrounded with yes men. If his team really cares about him, they never would have let him fight Joshua It could have been way worse. That's a good talking point, and I agree with you. But it's about the money. Since it's about the money, we're gonna act like you have a shot. We're gonna act like we think you could beat him. And I said it yesterday. When you stepping in there and sparring, yo, there's people out there that can hurt you, but they not going to. They your paid sparring partners. Nothing. Oh, it's real. Jay got heart to step in there. And I gave him his credit for that, my G. I gave him his credit. I said, you know what? Even if he would have got knocked out in the first round, I was going to give him credit because he stepped in there with Anthony Joshua, a two-time heavyweight champion of the world and Olympic gold medalist. What happened yesterday is exactly what was supposed to happen. That's what was supposed to happen. Look at AJ. Look at Jake Paul mouthpiece, my people. You look. I want you to consider this, and I'm telling you, if this fight was scripted, here's how it would have really played out. It would have been competitive. You would have seen Jake Paul landing some jabs and moving and going on this, landing some good combinations. AJ blocking, but Jake Paul looking good and moving around. If it was scripted, he would have looked good out there. Would have looked good. But he looked like a goofball, my people. Did you see? Did you not see when he threw some awkward punches, looking scary shit? And he looked like a dummy out there, completely outclassed. Of course, that shit wasn't scripted. Of course, he went out there looking like a goofball running around the ring. By the fourth round, he was out of gas. Out of gas. Sam Hyde, he looked like a welterweight fighting AJ. Shy guy. I think Jake only landed 3 hits. Now he landed a few more. And he landed a couple of good jabs that landed hard to the face of AJ. But ultimately, he was way outclassed. He was outclassed. And let me also point out, remember, guys, I was calling the fight live yesterday. In the very first round, Jake Paul attempted to lunge in and like do this, like lunge in and throw a few looping punches. And in between those, AJ did a little bit of a step back and boom, caught him with a right hand. Flush. That was in the first round, like 2 minutes in. From that very moment, Jake Paul understood that he was 100% outclassed. He knew the way this thing was going to play out. He knew it. Shaggy, salute my brother. Victor J, after round 4, I had it 2-2. I gave Jake rounds 1 and 4. I don't know how you gave him those rounds, man. I don't even know how you did that. For real, I don't know how you did that. But if you did, cool. Point is, how do you think that Jake Paul was going to script a fight that he's going to be out there looking like a goofball, rolling around, falling on his knees, looking like a dummy? You think you're going to script a fight so you could look stupid out there? If it was scripted, he would have looked nice. Even in the loss, he would have looked nice. Did some exchanges, had some highlight reels. Look for some highlights of Jake Paul doing something. Out there looking like a dummy. MS, some hardcore Jake fans were calling it a robbery because they believe referee stopped too soon. Jake Paul didn't even want to keep going, man. He didn't even want to keep going. And if you watched the live, or if you were there when I was calling the fight, yo, after round number 4, I said Jake Paul wanted to quit. I'm calling the fight. I said Jake Paul's looking to quit. Because that's it. Once the legs wasn't there anymore, what was going to happen? He started getting punched on. That's it. That's it. K-Biz, AJ put the paws on Paul. Man, listen, all types of hands on him. The left to the mouthpiece, The right to the dome piece, the left to the weight piece, ladies and gentlemen. Devastating blow from Anthony Joshua. What a right shot to the snap box. Come on, man. Bellatron. Jake Paul is what, light heavyweight? At the most, probably super middleweight. I mean, look, man, whatever division he goes into, if he fights a world championship caliber fighter, he getting beat up. He not winning those fights. He's not at that level. It's just that simple. Tajon, salute my guy. Robocop. Jake won no round. AJ didn't go past gear two. Held his power back and could have destroyed Jake Paul if and when he chooses. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that because like I said, right now the reality that AJ hasn't been in the ring in over a year is gonna skip past everybody's mind because it doesn't fit the narrative, right? We only say, "Oh, he's been inactive," when it fits the narrative that we want to push. AJ's a fighter who hasn't been in the ring over a year, about a year and 3 months, or a year and 2 months, something like that. So guess what? He was rusty out there. But not only was he rusty, you can't knock out an opponent that's not going to engage you. Jake Paul was number one. That ring was bigger than the usual ring size. So it gave Jake Paul a lot more room to operate. How do you watch this guy literally win from Anthony Joshua and think that he's just going to knock him out? Yo, Anthony Joshua can't just take his fist off and throw it at you across the ring and knock you out, bro. You have to engage each other. The notion that you just knock people out, because yes, it doesn't work that way. You have to engage. You have to have a dance partner that's going to stand there with you so you can knock him out. If he's going to run around, how are you going to knock him out? We watched Jake Paul do that for 4 rounds. He didn't engage. You don't knock people out just because you're a knockout artist if they're not there to be knocked out. Shaggy, he was outboxed and outmatched by a landslide. By a landslide. It's like you was watching a guy who's mad nice versus a bum. That's what happens when you're outclassed. And I'm telling you this, my people, from personal experience. As an amateur boxer, I won fights for guys that I was better than them. But guess what? I got to spar with professional fighters who absolutely outclassed me. Because let me give you an example. In my last amateur fight was in the New York City Daily News Golden Gloves semifinal, and I lost that fight. And I wasn't outclassed. It was a good fight. It was competitive. We went back and forth. Bam, bam, bam. We was trading some nasty leather. He got me. He beat me. He outboxed me. I got outboxed. But as an amateur boxer, I never got outclassed. But versus another amateur boxer. But I sparred a professional and I got outclassed. Like there wasn't shit I could do. My jab wasn't landing. My feints wasn't working. My little step backs, I was being countered with everything I was doing. He was just a step ahead of everything that I could do. There was just nothing I could do. I tried everything. All the things that worked versus my level opponents at the amateur game was not working versus that professional or those professionals that I spar with. I got outclassed by professionals. I know what that's like. I know the feeling. And when Jake Paul got hit with that right hand in the first round, boom, he already knew he was outclassed. You see, when I sparred with professionals, when I sparred with Agapito Sanchez, in the first round, I knew right away I was outclassed. Right away, I knew. Why? Because I tried to step in with a 1-2. This dude went down low and gave me a left and a right, bam, bam, to the body, while my hands were still out here. I'm like this, my people. My hand is out here, and I'm like, bam, bam. Oh shit! This motherfucker didn't even give me time to block. Just punch me like that. is different when you outclass my people. Which, by the way, hit that like button, man. Y'all doing me wrong. Y'all doing me wrong because I'm telling you the truth. Because I'm telling you, look at that jawline, B. Look at that gum line. Whole gum line twisted to the inside. How you going to think that's fake? And I told you guys yesterday, I told you, Jake Paul's going to get knocked out brutally. And people still going to say it's fake. Hey, Gareth, he could make, it's going through English professional leagues. He'd be a journeyman fighter at best. I like Tommy Fury. Look, man, Tommy Fury is a fighter who's never gonna get to a high level in boxing. He's a lower level fighter. He beat Jake Paul. But I have to say, and I hope that you guys would agree, Jake Paul is a lot better right now than he was when he fought Tommy Fury. For sure. For sure. John Pound, Jay Smith. Why did Jake say, whoa, when he got knocked down? I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you got a theory that's going to align with what you want to believe. I would say he just got hit with a real hard shot. That's a great shot. Like, whoa, god damn. But I don't know. I'm assuming that you have a theory that aligns with what you want to believe. I would just say, if you're really asking me that question and you want to answer, he got hit hard as hell. Like, god damn. And look, the thing about Jake Paul is that he's a guy who he always wants to present an image. He always want to present a character. What he really would have wanted been doing if all the cameras and all the people wasn't there, would have like, but the cameras is there, so he's like, oh, he's always playing for the camera. You think about it. He got his jaw broken. You know how painful that is? And he's going like that to the camera. Man, you know you hurt. You know you hurt. You know you're going straight to surgery from right here. You're not even going home. But for the camera, he's like, he want to act like he having fun, like he having a good time. So Jake Paul's the type of guy that he could be getting pummeled out there. Yo, when AJ started landing those hard shots around number 5, you saw Jake Paul smiling. So that's just his character. That's just his demeanor. He don't want to show that he's hurt or that he's going down. He still want to show that he's enjoying himself. Now you out there getting beat up and looking like a goofball. Ah, tú ves. Porque yo nunca lo saqué de ahí, pero yo no me acuerdo si fueron yo creo que yo no quiero entregar un teléfono. No, llévalo. All right. My people, give me a 30-second commercial break. Y'all know we talking boxing. Y'all know we talking about Jake Paul. Y'all know we talking about AJ. Is it fake? Is it real? There's gonna be the controversy. That's what we talking about, my peoples. I'll be back with you in a minute. Y'all already know what it is. We talking boxing. Welcome to Boxing for Breakfast, man. I'll be back. Tenemos hat, papá. Papá, tenemos negros hat, papá. Son iguales los negros hat. Tenemos negros hat. I like your hat. Yes, blue. My peoples, we back in the building. We back in the building. Was Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua a real fight? Was it scripted? What say you, ladies and gentlemen? Jamie McFadden. Yes, it was. He hit him about 10%. Never even knocked him out. A clean punch to the face. Damn. So you're telling me that wasn't a clean punch to the face? An indented jawline, gum line, teeth? Straight to the surgery room? Damn, yo, I guess you wanted him to die in the ring. A broken jaw wasn't enough, man. People wanted to see Jake Paul just go straight to a morgue. Jose Cole, he introduced into the hundreds of millions with a broken jaw. My people, we in the building. We in the building. Wait a minute. Was it fake? Was it scripted? It was scripted. Jamie McFadden says he hit him about 10%, and he never hit him with a clean punch to the face. I mean, it's tough to say that he didn't hit him with a clean punch to the face. My guy got an indented jawline, indented gum line, indented teeth, all pushed to the inside. That looked like it landed pretty clean to me, bro. God damn. God lay my people. Jose Cole, he introduced into the world, into hundreds of millions with a broken jaw. Bro, look at the jawline. Look at the teeth. Look like the gums is inside his mouth, bro. I want you to take that into consideration. The gums all in there. Mr. Tommy Gunn, Jay Smith brings it each and every time. I was calling it live, and I seen how it happened, and I told you guys that's exactly how it was gonna happen. Hey Garrett, more than enough to prove he don't want any more of that. Oh no, he's gonna get more of that, just not at that level. He said it himself that he'll be moving down to the cruiserweight division to chase the title there. Like, you're never gonna even beat somebody that can earn you a title shot ever. Jake Paul will never become a mandatory. Jake Paul will never put. You got to think about this. He fought AJ, a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, but this wasn't a championship fight. This was an 8-rounder, and he could obviously wasn't going to survive those 8 rounds. In any division that you put Jake Paul in against a world champion, he's going to get beat up, my people. That's the way it's going to play out. MS, that 1-2 by AJ was Olympic experience at its best. Bang! Landed flush. Brutal shot. Son Vaughn, Jake Paul should get a tune-up and go for Badu Jake or Guillermo. He get knocked out. Same way. All of those fights play out the same way. The thing is that if Jake Paul is really serious about becoming a champion, he would actually fight contenders and beat contenders. Because that's what's going to get you the experience that you need to get to that level. But if you out there fighting contenders and they beating you up, you can't even get a title shot. So Jake Paul, he doesn't want to fight contenders. He want to skip straight to the top guys. Because he knows all of these. I'm going to put it to you like this. Everybody in the top 40 is beating Jake Paul up. Everybody in the top 40 of any division that he can make weight is beating him up. That's the thing. So If he fights somebody, let's say who's ranked number 12 and get beat up outclassed, then fight somebody who's number 18, beat up outclassed, he'll never get a title shot. Jake Paul will never earn a title shot inside the ring, no matter what division he fights in. Prosperity. Americans now respect AJ. Nah, because I'm gonna tell you something. I think in the U.S. is probably the place where you see the most conspiracists. So instead of saying Americans now respect AJ, what you're gonna see is more Americans saying that it was fake, it was scripted, and all of that stuff. Son of Bond, next fight can be a top 20 cruiserweight. I doubt it, bro. I doubt it. I doubt we'll ever see Jake Paul crack the top 20. Hey, Garrett. Nope. Clyde. The ring was massive. No wonder it took AJ 6 rounds to catch up with Jake. You see, that's the ring, Clyde. That's the thing, Clyde, that people ignore all the factors that extended this. They say, look, it was scripted. That's why it took 6 rounds. AJ could have did it at any time. Like AJ could just take off his hand and throw it across the ring and knock you out with it. I don't know what they think. But ultimately, Jake Paul selected a bigger ring so that he had room to operate, so that he had room to move around. But it did not work for long because after the 4th round, he was already out of gas. So what he did when he was out of gas, started jabbing and grabbing, falling to the floor like a goofball, rolling around. He didn't have his legs under him no more. He did not have the cardio, the physical ability to bounce around the ring for 8 rounds. He didn't have that. You have to understand, first fight at heavyweight, first fight weighing that much, you're fighting a guy that's bigger than you, stronger than you, and way better than you. Come on now. Come on, my people. Like, what was supposed to happen is exactly what happened. Jake Paul was supposed to get knocked out based on the odds. If you look at the betting odds, AJ was supposed to knock him. Get the results that we were supposed to get. Does anyone say no? They planned that. That was scripted. I don't even understand it. Mr. Tommy Gunn, AJ ain't too well respected with boxing fans in the UK. I heard that they don't like him in the UK. That a lot of people don't like him. Clive Boyce agreed. Jake was expecting too much energy running away, spending. Jake was spending too much energy running away from AJ for the early rounds. All that running, all that movement, how many fights does Jake Paul have? Is it 12, 11, something like that? Whatever it is. But he's never fought like that in his life, my people. Ever. You think you're going to bring a whole new style of boxing for a world champion and you're going to fight him a whole new way that you just learned and you're figuring out now that you're going to win with your footwork? It doesn't work that way, man. It only works that way when you're inside the gym with sparring partners that you paying them, you giving them a lot of money, so they are gonna knock your ass out. You see, here's the deal: when you have somebody who's gonna take it easy on you, you're gonna look good. He's gonna let you get your jab off. He's gonna let you do your little combination. That's in training camp. You're paying these people a lot of money. One of them knock you out and they're out of a job. And I'm pretty sure Jake Paul pays good money to the sparring partners. They're not gonna go in there and knock him out, right? So he got his confidence built by these people and stepped in there with a world champion, and you saw it. Rascal Rob behind the woodshed, beat down, bro. The left to the mouthpiece, the right to the nose piece, the left to the weight piece. Devastating blow to twist his gum line to the inside. Look at his joint. Look at his joint. What looks fake about that? You got your jawline, your gum line, your teeth line, all mashing into your tongue, pushed in. Come on, my people. JJ's in there, 53 people in the building. Come on, man. Hit that like button, my people. Don't do Jay Smith like that. Y'all know we cooking out here. Jose Cole, he kept dropping to his knees next to AJ, cup protector. Then gets jaw rocked. Hilarious. He was out there looking like a goofball. Like a goofball. I want you to think about this, right? If Jake Paul scripted the fight, don't you think that he would have scripted it so he can look good? Don't you think he would have scripted it so that he could be throwing the jab and making AJ miss and landing some combinations? Oh no, you think that he scripted so that he could have his jawline pushed into his tongue. Look at that shit. You think Jake Paul scripted the fight so that he could go straight to the surgery room? Clive Boyce, AJ knew all he needed was one right hand, and the fight was over. And he had 24 minutes to do that. That's it. He did what he was supposed to do. Did what he was supposed to do. Cadet jaw rotten. Wes does it. Yo, Jay Smith. Paul was hugging legs and calfskin all night. Man, he looked like a goofball out there. Falling to. At one point, he was even rolling on his back and everything. Looking like a goofball. T3 got game. The only script I saw was how long the fight lasted. And listen, it's like I said, AJ does not have the ability to take his hand off and throw it across the ring and knock somebody out. He can't do that. He not Dawson from Street Fighter. He's not gonna stretch his arm, whoop, boom, and knock you out all the way over there. See, so you gotta understand the knockout punches come when we exchange each other. They come when I can set you up, boom, and knock you out. But if all you're doing is this, and I gotta follow you, you know, ain't gonna be no knockout, my people. The first 4 rounds, and and I just want to say something. Yesterday before the fight, before yesterday, and throughout the week, for everybody that was saying AJ's gonna knock him out in the first round, I kept repeating the same thing. If Jake Paul is gonna step in the ring using survival tactics, he can go 4, 5, 6. He can even go the distance if he can use those tactics. And what did we see from Jake? Moving, 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 jab and grab, moving, moving, jab and go, 1, 2, and go, moving, 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 grab, clinch. So, what more survival tactics do you want to see than a fighter who's running around the ring and clinching? He used those tactics to survive. By the time they ended round number 4, his legs was jelly. By the time they got to that round, Jake Paul, let me show you. Let me show you. I want to show you guys so you can see for yourself, right? Jake Paul went from having his legs like this. Look at my legs, my people. I want you to see. I'm going to show you. He went from having his legs like this, right? And moving around constantly. You see my legs, right? Wide open. He went from that and moving around the way he was moving. And by the time they got to round number 5, now you see Jake Paul like this. Like that. From that point on, you saw his legs out like this. Yo, when you see that a fighter go from that wide stance where he could move around to standing up like this, his legs is cooked. Anytime that you see a fighter later in the fight stand up now, and he's fighting like this, legs is cooked. Round number 5. Round number 5, my peoples, Jake Paul's legs was gone. So what did he start doing? jab and grab, going to his knees like a golf ball. Why? He didn't have his legs under him anymore. Anthony Joshua was fresh. Anthony, you take a championship caliber fighter and you put him in an 8 rounder. How you think he's gonna run out of gas? How you think a championship caliber fighter is gonna run out of gas in an 8 rounder? You're a goofball, Jake Paul, thinking I'm gonna make him chase me and he's gonna get tired. And after he get tired, I'm gonna do him in. You're a goofball. That's pure goofballery. Clive, he got knocked down 3 times. And I'm telling you, he already was out of it. He wanted to get out of that fight already. He already understood. I'm outclassed. This guy's gonna hurt me. Damn. Look, did you guys remember the part when Jake Paul? Look, let me show you. Y'all remember the part when he went like that, trying to act like he was limping? Y'all remember that? When he went like he was limping? Bro, he didn't even twist his leg. If you watch the video, he didn't twist his leg. Why he limping? Why he was limping? You know why he was limping? Because he wanted to pull out. He wanted an excuse. He wanted to say, oh, my leg. Oh, wait, I can't keep going. But he knew inside his mind, damn, people going to know I quit. He just didn't want to quit because he got that ego. But he wanted to quit. When he did that little limp, he wanted to quit. And then he realized, damn, they're going to look at the tape and they're going to know I didn't twist my foot. They're going to know I didn't twist shit. What am I saying? What am I saying? That my leg felt like it snapped, but it's good. So he had to keep going. His ego didn't allow him to pull off that move. And ultimately, he got knocked out. Ran out of gas. That's all it was. He ran out of gas. He wasn't going to be able to run the whole 8 rounds the way that he did during the first half. He wasn't going to be able to pull that off. And look at this is where you see that he's on some real goofy shit, on some goof ballery. Look at every single Jake Paul, right? Every single one of them. You ever seen Jake Paul be the guy that uses the footwork to win fights? You ever seen that? Or he stand there, boom, 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 and bang it with guys and beat them. Because he always got the physical advantage over him. But where have you seen Jake Paul? Where have you seen Jake Paul using footwork to win fights? Never. So all of a sudden, you're going to figure out a brand new strategy that you never deployed in your entire short career, B-level, C-level career. You're going to deploy a brand new technique that you learn on a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. For real? That's what you're going to do. You're going to use your new tricks that you learned on AJ. You're a goofball. That's insane, my peoples. That is absolutely delusional. There was absolutely no chance for Jake Paul to win this fight. What we saw happen is exactly what was supposed to happen. I am Stack Dinero. AJ was toying with that imbecile. Jake Paul. Jake Paul was a joke and a disgrace to real boxing boxers. Dorado PR should be embarrassed and disgusted by his antics. So, you know that there's always going to be two sides of the argument, right? Because as a businessman, he's done great. He's done great for himself, and he's doing great for the women with MVP promotion. It just, his level of skills is way, way, way below from where he tries to portray it. And look, the reason people don't like Jake Paul is because he's a troll. He'll get in front of the camera and say that he's one of the best fighters since Sugar Ray Leonard. And he'll say that shit with a straight face. But if Tommy Fury beat your ass, you don't think you're gonna piss people off when you put your name alongside Sugar Ray Leonard? So people just don't like him because all the trolling that he does. But me myself, and as an analyst, I try to separate the personal feelings from what is everything that's going on from the facts. So let me just say the facts, my peoples, and we gotta keep it 100. You guys tell me. By the way, come on with the ghost watching, man. Hit that like button, my people. I'm about to cook for y'all right now. Cooking for y'all. I want you to take this into consideration. We've been asking Jake Paul to fight a real boxer for years. Fight a real boxer. Fight a real boxer. We don't want to see you with 60-year-old Mike Tyson. We don't want to see you with retired, washed up UFC fighters. Fight a boxer. We've been asking him to do it. And he fought such a big name that people refuse to believe is real. That's how high he stepped up the bar. And yesterday I told you guys, he's going to get knocked out in brutal fashion, and people will still think it was fake. We see it right now. Ajana Haney, before he think about Anthony rematch, he better not think about it. No, he already said. He said he's not fighting a heavyweight no more. He understands that. Ajana Haney honestly believe he can beat Tommy in a rematch. He could beat him. I believe if Jake Paul fight Tommy Fury, he beats him this time around. Because he's a lot. Because you got to remember, the first fight, it was close. Jake Paul's a lot better than the first time they stepped in the ring. So I got him winning the rematch. Cadet. Boxing. The Hydro Brian. He did catch AJ with a good haymaker, though. I'll give him that. He caught him with a good haymaker, caught him with a couple of good jabs, too. But he was way outclassed. He was way outclassed like that. He had no chance. He had no business being in that ring with AJ. Wes does it. Jay got beat up so Alicia could have some shine. Man, to me, it's crazy that Alicia Baumgartner fought such a great fight, and it's the co-main event to Jake Paul getting knocked out brutally. Ajana Haney, bro, no, Jake lost. AJ never really felt his power though. I mean, what could, it's like I said before, when you're outclassed the way that Jake Paul was, you're not gonna land your best punches because you're in there with somebody that's just much better than you. Those shots that you normally land on other guys, they're not gonna land on this opponent. Kaylana, damn, it's hard to read that. Is it Kaylana? Tommy doesn't put time in like Jake. I think Jake beats him now. I agree with you 100%. 100% because Jake Paul has been dedicated to the sport of boxing already for the last 6, 7 years. People say he's a fake boxer. He can't box, but he's a real boxer and he can box. He's just not at that level. Al Booger, did Jake get his jaw broken? What do you think? Whole jawline, gum line, teeth line pushed in, shoved into his tongue. So yeah, he got his jaw broken, and he got his jaw broken the worst type of way. There's a lot of bad ways to get your jaw broken, but I'm gonna tell you why. I mean, from a punch. I'm gonna tell you why this is the worst way. When you get punched in your jaw and you have it broken, the most common thing to happen is that your jaw gets pushed to the side, chop, and it breaks. Bah, as it goes further than it should. Bang, breaks. Okay. Jake Paul jaw went to the side, but he got punched so hard that his damn gum, teeth line, jawline was pushed in, my people. Look at his joint, man. Gum line looking like a rainbow. That's tough. That's a tough shot to take. And guess what? Today, Jake Paul, he got a lot of money. I'm sure he already got the surgery done. Well, I'm not sure. They probably already did the surgery, best doctors in the country and all of that stuff. But you know how long it's gonna take for that jaw to heal, for him to be able to fight again? That's a heck of an injury that he got in that fight. Al Booger, he got what he was asking for. Got his ass whooped, says JP. Clive, at least it might shut him up for a while. Hopefully. I mean, that type of joint right there, that type of joint, they definitely gonna wire his shit shut. That he get his shit wired shut. He gonna be talking funny. Ajana Haney, Rocky stuff. I honestly believe if he recovers right and get more wins and timely rematch, then he can see for Anthony. Nah, I'm telling you, Ajana, he ain't got nothing. He ain't got nothing for a world championship caliber fighter. Got his ass whooped. Cadet got his ass busted. JB too. He saw Jesus, Mary, and Joseph with that punch. He did look up. Maybe that's what he was looking at. Deshaun Walker, he would never see Anthony. And he said himself he understood. He understood the difference. He says it was only about power, but he also understood the difference in skills. That's why he said, nah, I won't fight here again. I'm going to go to cruiserweight. That's it, Anthony Joshua didn't kick him out of boxing, but trust me, he kicked him outside of the heavyweight division. He'll never try that again. That's it. He understood. Dr. Grind, I know a guy who had that same injury. They say he could spar after 5 months, but it was still too sensitive. He quit boxing because after a year, the surgery, even soft tapping, the jaw hurt. It's a tough injury to overcome. He's going to have some of the best in the country, maybe even some of the best in the world. Take care of that. But, whoa, what a shot. Ajana Haney. Jay remind me of Rocky when he lost bad, then come back stronger and beat. I mean, he don't have to remind you of Rocky. A movie character, let him remind you of Conor Benn. Conor Benn got beat up by Chris Eubank Jr. and came back to do his thing. Came back and won the fight. A lot of people said Conor Benn was going to get knocked out. Clive, I actually have a bit more respect for Jake after that fight, to be honest. No, listen, I said this yesterday, and I've been saying it. Jake Paul is going to get a lot of credit because at the end of the day, he had the audacity, he had the balls to step in there with a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. JB too. The Hydra grind, John Parham, bam. Tell you, my peoples, the way that he got hurt in that fight is gonna take some time for him to recover. It's gonna take some time for him to be back to normal. John Parham, I broke shit. John Parham, I broke my homie jaw in high school, and shit was cooked for a good 6 months. You see, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time, and depending on on exactly how badly the structure was broken too. Jake Paul jaw looking like a rainbow, jawline, gum line, teeth line, all shoved into his tongue like that. Come on, man, look. That shit pushing his tongue in. Danny on the ground, Rocky was poor and wasn't raised by the Disney Channel. Yeah, that's a little bit of a different storyline. Frankie, Jake is brave and tough. Gotta give him that. Gotta give him that. He's brave and tough. And I'm gonna say, he got knocked out the way that he did because toughness, but also because his ego. Trust me when I tell you, Jake Paul won it out badly in the fifth round. When he tried to fake a leg injury, he wanted to get out of that fight. And then he was like, nah, man, I'm going to have to go out on my shield. It's going to be a bad look if I quit. And there you have it. He went out like that. But he won it out. He knew he couldn't win that fight. St. Thomas. Nah, that's it. Nah, he's wearing the mouthpiece. He's actually wearing the mouthpiece. But look back here though. You, you, look at his gum line, his teeth line, and his jaw line. All that shit is pushed into his tongue, bro. Look at his tongue right there. Anthony Joshua punched him so hard that he shoved all that shit into his mouth, bro. Look. That's a tough break. Tough break. Come on, my people. Whoa, JB in the building with the super chat vibes. Good show. Keep it up. 100. Jake needed that ass whooping. Salute, my brother. Appreciate it. And I say to everybody, man, listen, it doesn't matter if it's $1, it doesn't matter if it's 50, but whatever you put in to Boxing for Breakfast, much respect to you. That means that you supported me that much more. I appreciate you, my brother. Listen, my people, the way that Jake Paul got punched his whole joint in like that, how can anybody say that it's scripted? How can anybody say, no? He planned it for that. And he was out there looking like a goofball. He was out there looking like a goofball, my people. I promise you. If it was scripted, he would have looked good out there. Braskarov training day, pushed in. Bro, look, you know I ain't lying. Braskarov, you know I never lie, my G. Look at it right there. Whole shit pushed into his mouth. You can't even chew nothing right now. You're going to be eating through a straw. Right now, he eating through his neck. 2 left hooks. What's up, Jay Smith? Salute, my brother. What do you think about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, and the whole conspiracy? People think it was staged. People think it's a fake fight. It was fixed. Marcus Hector. Is that a hexagon on his teeth? That's the logo to that brand that they pushing. That's a logo to a new brand he got going on. Braskarov liquid diet, oatmeal. Clyde Boys, I thought it was a scripted until I seen the knockout. And then I went, oh shit, Jake got busted. Now, look, I'm going to tell you why I didn't think it was scripted. I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of things that I take into consideration for me to even assume something like that, right? Let's think for a second about Anthony Joshua, right? Think about, by the way, salute to everybody tuning in. Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me this Sunday morning. Here's a factor that I take into consideration, JB. Anthony Joshua is a fighter who we know to have his integrity. Like him or not, some people like him, some people don't. But we seen this guy go out on his shield. We seen AJ get knocked out. We seen AJ struggle and get outboxed. And we seen him get to the very top. This guy's never been involved in any type of goofballery, ever. It don't matter. We can say we don't like him. We don't like his skills. He's too strong. Whatever it is. But this guy's never been down with no circus show shit. So the moment AJ said, I saw an interview and somebody asked him, do you think that it's crazy that Jake Paul want to fight you? And he said, I don't think it's crazy. he think he could beat me. So we're gonna have to see. It's a real fight. We're gonna have to see. That's all he said. No trash talking. No, I'm gonna do this to him. Just he said he could beat me. We're gonna see. When I saw that from AJ, I'm like, yo, this guy feel disrespected, and he should. And I've been trying to tell you guys this. AJ's disrespected. This is actually disrespectful. You really believe, with your limited experience, that you're gonna fight a two-time heavyweight champion of the world and you're gonna beat him? That's disrespectful, my people. Disrespectful to AJ. So AJ was like, okay, okay, you think you could beat me? The same way, the same way that he felt disrespected when Francis Ngannou thought he could beat him. Oh, Francis think he could beat me. Okay, absolutely obliterated him. Because he's looking at it like, you think you coming from MMA and you can mess with me? Okay, we're going to have to see. I'm going to show you what this thing is about. Did the same to Jake Paul. That's the mindset that he went into that with. JB, I don't think this one was egregious or scripted. He saw his popularity plummeting and he was a joke. Even with his eye makeup on TikTok, he had to do that to be taken seriously. Truth. Look, man, when we consider the way that this whole thing played out, it should be obvious that it was a real fight. Jake Paul got made to look like a goofball. He was supposed to get made to look like the goofball that he was in the ring yesterday. No business, no business being there with AJ. That's why he ran around for 4 rounds, and when he ran out of gas, what happened? He got pummeled. That's what was supposed to happen. John Pound, AJ Styles should plummet after the performance, in my opinion. It's not going to plummet, it's going to skyrocket. It's going to skyrocket. He gave everybody what they wanted. Cadet, what happened to his mustache? Man, listen, when you get your whole jawline and everything punched in, I think even the mustache gets twisted up. K Biz, I think they both made 92 million. It wasn't a pay-per-view event. Easy, my guy. Netflix. You see, Netflix makes a lot of money with subscriptions. You know how many people are subscribed to Netflix all over the world? Just think about it. Over 40 million people watch um, Terrence Crawford beat the shit out of Canelo. Over 40 million people. So when you're Jake Paul already opened up the formula. When you do it on Netflix, you don't have to put a pay-per-view because Netflix is already making money with the subscribers. We don't consider it pay-per-view, but in a way, it is because you got to pay for that Netflix subscription, right? And guess what? When these fights are about to happen, Netflix gets a huge spike in subscriptions. Don't you know that when there's fights like this, there's people that will subscribe to Netflix for just 1 month just to get this fight? And anything that happens in December, they'll subscribe December, boom, and that's it. Just 1 month. People do that all the time. So in a way for them it is pay-per-view because they paying for the subscription. But then there's more. You're gonna have 40 million people tuning in, 50 million people tuning in. Do you know how much money Netflix charge for ad space during that broadcast? You want to do a commercial during the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua card? You want to put your logo in the ring? Look at the logo they had in the ring, bro. Kentucky Fried Chicken. They had the KFC logo in the ring, bro. We never seen that in our lives. I never seen it. I don't know if that's happened. They had the KFC logo in the ring, bro, in the ropes. You know the type of corporation and the type of money we talking about when it's KFC in the building. So Netflix generates millions and millions and millions of dollars from all over the place. Shout out to KFC, Kentucky Fried Clones, Daniel Brown. I miss Netflix. Side, shout out to KFC, my peoples. Big fight and big money. So Jake Paul unlocked the cheat code so that they can make a lot of money and not have to fight on pay-per-view. That's the cheat code. Without Netflix, this fight $90, $100, so that they can make the bag, right? They gotta charge a lot of money. Now you got your Netflix, you can watch it right there. The code has been unlocked. JV2. That's why Netflix bought HBO Max for 72 billion. They got paid ad revenue in a swole. You know the type of ad revenue that they made. Look, forget about the sold out event. Forget about all the people that subscribe to Netflix just to get this fight. But think about the ad revenue alone. How much money they make just so that people can put their logo in there somewhere. P, you're right. I subscribe just to see the fight. You see, there's a lot of people who subscribe just for this one fight. So now you got Netflix for the rest of the month, and you can watch shows and watch Stranger Things or something else, whatever you want to watch. They get a huge spike in subscriptions when these fights are gonna happen. It's the same thing with Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. A lot of people subscribe to Netflix. Why? Because they wanted to watch that fight in quality. They didn't want to stream it illegally and have the shit jumping around and freezing. They wanted to really watch that fight. So they subscribed to Netflix. One month, bang! I need to watch that fight from home comfortably. Shaggy, that had to be the only ring around. They had a blood floor before the first fight. I said they couldn't get a better ring. Ha ha. The thing is that that's a special ring size. That's special ring size. It's bigger than the normal. So if somebody was sparring, pop, 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 got their nose broken. You can't replace that joint because that's custom made basically. JB and product placement killing it. Bro, just for you to sit your cup down right there. Netflix gonna charge you an arm and a leg. But you're gonna have 40, 50, I don't know how many millions of people watching your product. That's it. Look, with Netflix, they unlock the cheat code. We don't need to charge pay-per-view. Put their ass on Netflix. We got a platform that we're gonna generate mad money. And they're gonna be watching a fight for their Netflix subscription. Boxing Junkie, Grand Rising. And that ring was super big. It was big. That's part of the reason why Jake Paul was able to go 6 rounds. That's part of it. Because being the ring as big as it was, it allowed them a lot of room to operate. Go to the left, go to the right, a lot of moving around. But ultimately, what happened is exactly what was supposed to happen. And I told everybody this. You're not going to make a championship caliber fighter gas out in an 8 rounder. In an 8 rounder, you're going to make them gas out? Come on, my people. Come on. Jake Paul was going to do nothing but get beat up. Boxing Junkie, I thought they was fighting in a football field. And ultimately, look at this. Look at this. Still got his whole jawline, gum line, teeth line, all pushed in, all shoved into his tongue. Look at that shit. How you gonna chew gum? How you gonna chew anything? Imagine people saying that the fight is scripted, even after seeing that. My man gum line looking like a rainbow, like that. Whoop. If you're not seeing it clearly, this is the jaw, this is the gum line right here, pushed in. This is the teeth line pushed in, and look at his tongue. All of that shit shoved into his tongue, my people. And you still think it's scripted? You got your whole shit pushed in like that? How can you think something like that is scripted? Whole joint pushed in into his mouth. Grasshopper. Jake Paul is trash. I mean, listen, compared to world championship caliber fighters, he's trash, of course. Boxing junkie, I love it. But give that man his flowers. He got good ass whooping to get accepted. Now I give him his credit. Cadet strokes and all. I give him his credit. And I've been saying it. You have to understand that Jake Paul had the balls to get in there with a heavyweight champion of the world. Two-time heavyweight champion of the world. The Olympic gold medalist. Like somebody who has such a great career. But he was supposed to be outclassed and knocked out. And that's exactly the way that it played out. It's how it was supposed to. JB, Stranger Things have Eagle Waffles a resurgence, and the stock went crazy. They see now how to finesse the bag, get paid nothing, will go back to old days. Netflix king at the moment, bro. That's it. Netflix is taking over. They unlocked the key. We could, the fighters can make a shitload of money, and we don't have to charge the fans 80, $90 for a card. That's it. You're gonna have a hard time selling these pay-per-views when these people can give you these big fights just for subscribing. Just subscribe to the to the app. And then look, somebody said earlier in the chat, I subscribe to Netflix just to get this fight. I know people who subscribe to Netflix just to get Crawford versus Canelo. Subscribe for 1 month, let the subscription expire, and that's it. You out of it. Cadet, high stocks in the high stocks. High stakes in the high stocks or high stocks in the high stakes. Boxing junkie. So you think this fight gets more views than Bub versus Canelo? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it get more or less, but I know that it get millions of views. That I know. Whether it's gonna be 20 million or 60 million, I don't really know, to be honest. But everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. And you know what's the beautiful thing about Netflix and how they generate that money, that ad revenue? Guess what? This is what makes it a beautiful thing for Netflix. It's like for them, this is the gift that keeps on giving. You know what's happening right now? Right now, millions and millions of Netflix subscribers who don't even watch boxing. The Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight is gonna pop up on their next Netflix screen, and they seen it all over social media, and they're gonna say, "Damn, everybody's talking about this. Let me see." Pop, my peoples, right this very moment, there's people around the world who never seen a boxing match in their life watching AJ versus Jake Paul simply because they're Netflix subscribers. This fight popped up across the screen. Everybody on social media is talking about it. Let me see what this is about. So Netflix is making a shit load of money. Everybody's making a shit load of money, and you don't have to pay $90 to get the card. Because this is Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. This is an 8 rounder, but we saw it with Canelo versus Crawford. Same deal. You got Netflix. You can watch this fight. Handle it. Come on now. You have to understand what's going on. And then His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, who's against the high pay-per-view prices. That's it. The pay-per-view model that a lot of us grew up with, that's gonna disappear. That's gonna turn into a dinosaur. There's gonna be no more. At one point, that won't exist. To pay 80, $90 for this card, that's not gonna exist anymore. We're gonna get to the point that everybody's on an app, and you simply have to subscribe to the app, or you could just subscribe to the app for 1 month for the fight and not keep it. But it's gonna be like that because if you think about it, look, PBC, Amazon, on Amazon Prime, Maximum on the Zone, Jake Paul and people that they're bringing over there, Netflix. Everybody's on the app. Everybody's on the app. So ultimately, the pay-per-view model that we've been seeing, that's gonna die. That's gonna disappear. It's not gonna survive. JB, oh yeah, that is done. No more pay-per-views. WWEC converted to cable, dead. That's it. We got we got new options going on, and everybody's gonna have to stick with the program because once you start getting all of these big fights at that rate, when somebody show up talking about $90, everybody gonna be like $90, man, we ain't watching that shit. That crazy. And when fans start to do that, then they're gonna have to be like, that's it. We cook with the pay per view. We're gonna have to join the program. Billy the Kid, no problem with that. It's like the Tyson fight, where just everybody was watching it in the streaming, for it kept cutting out. But you see, and I said this before, there was never a single problem for the Mike Tyson and Canelo Alvarez fight. And you know what I said before, my brother? Think about this. Before the Mike Tyson fight, Netflix wasn't streaming fights. They was doing their movies, they were doing their shows, they were doing a lot of different things, but they was not doing big fights. And the thing is, the production of a fight and streaming a fight is very different than you streaming a show, or very different than you streaming a taped show that you hit and play on a computer and pause and fast forward or whatever you're doing. A fight is a live event where there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things going on. And they were not expecting that 100 million people were gonna stream it. They was not ready for that. And I told people by the time they get to Crawford versus Canelo, these people done already had the best of the best of the best in their IT department. Handle everything that has to do with streaming to make sure that as many people as was gonna go in was gonna be able to watch it a smooth experience with no issues. And that's how it played out. Listen, leading up to Canelo versus Crawford, a lot of people telling me, damn, I hope it don't freeze, I hope it don't. And I told you, I like, yo, I'm confident. Netflix, we're talking about billions and billions behind that corporation. They're not gonna have this mishap in such a big fight. Not happening. So they're gonna get on their game, and that's what we saw. Same thing yesterday. Yesterday we did see no problem with the streaming. So Netflix, they on their game, my people. Shaggy, I know people who illegally stream Netflix to watch it. They're making it harder just to watch. They make you get the subscription, of course. They make you get the subscription. Make you get that subscription. And they make a lot of money with that. And it's not only that, because let me tell you something, Shaggy. I know people that stream a lot of fights, but when it's a certain big fight that they really want to watch, they pay for it. Because you know, when you're streaming illegally, it could freeze. The whole broadcast could just disappear. A lot of shit could happen. But if you pay for your fight, you're watching it on your TV, it's a whole different experience. Daniel LeBron, some of Hollywood's biggest movies are showing on Netflix. biggest movies, biggest shows, all type of stuff. Side, Jay Smith, how many views do you think AJ and Jake Paul did? It's hard to say, man, because Crawford versus Canelo did 40 million views, right? So we have to think, did this fight do more or less than that? AJ's a very big star. Jake Paul is a very big star. I don't know, man. I think it does close to that number. Maybe more, maybe less. I think close to it. But I say close, 40 something million or 50 something million, under or over, but close to it. I'm not sure, man. I'm not. It's hard to say, but I know it's millions and millions of people who tuned in to watch that fight. Shaggy, some just wanted to watch boxing only. They're making them get this and get that, and that's why there's those boxing fans. Somebody said it earlier, who only subscribe for the fight. I'll pay 1 month to get the fight, and then for that month, I might as well watch a few shows, watch a few other things here and there. So I'd say around 50 million, around 50 million people, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Search MK. What about the digital currency? Do you think he lost because of the digital currencies? Nah, I think he lost because he got his ass whooped. That's it right there. Cadet, I got my weed gummies. Movie. Handle your business, my G. Handle your business. Boxing junkie. I know you probably spoke about it already, but I've been busy with life. So I'm going to ask you, what was your take on the Bud retiring? And do you think it's temporary or temporary for a bigger bag? That's a great question. So, at 38 years old and with all the accomplishments that he has, I think he's retiring at the perfect time, to be honest. Uh, Now, as a boxing fan, because I'm a fan just like everybody else, of course I want to see him fight again. That makes it bittersweet because every time Crawford stepped in the ring, he gave us a good fight. So you want to get more of that. But just as a person, I say, yo, you did it, and you did it all the way at the top. You won the biggest fight as the underdog. What better way to go? Like you really going out on top. And then I'm gonna say, you put that number out there, $100 million. If they pay him the $100 million, I say that he will come back. If you don't want to pay me that money, I think he might not come back because Terrence Crawford is a wealthy man. He has the type of money that he won't have to work ever. His kids won't have to work ever. His grandkids won't have to work ever. It's that type of money. When you go over $100 million, when you own as many properties as he has, when you have as many endorsement deals as he has, this guy never have to work a day in his life. So I think we all knew that he wanted to go to 160 and accomplish more. But if that's not there to be made, go ahead, retire and retire on top of the world. So I respect it. Sad. I feel like Buzz saying he retired unless they give him 100 mils for a good fight. Yeah, that's basically it. That's how I'm taking it too. I'm retiring. If you want to give me 100 million, that's enough money for me to say I'll come back. But I don't need to. I got all type of money. I got all type of money, and I'm healthy, and I'm in good shape. Cadet, my broken tooth needed dental gum. Man, listen, Jake Paul gonna need all type of stuff. All type of stuff. He got his whole shit pushed into his tongue. Shaggy, Anthony and Tyson will be the next fight, and a good fight for them both. Look, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is a fight that we wanted to see a long time ago. Obviously, when they were both undefeated. So Yes, it lost some of that lacking luster, some of that sparkle, I meant to say, but we still want to see it. It's still a big fight. AJ and Tyson Fury stepping in the ring is something that most of us will be tuning in to watch. Reynaldo Paredes. Okay, Reynaldo, take a 24-hour break, express yourself in church, and we talking boxing over here. Salute to you, respect your religion and everything, but we're not here to talk about that, my guy. You're gonna have to do that at church. Trick Nolte. It landed, but not with the type of force he hit Nagano. I mean, how much force did you want, bro? How much, like, his gum line is pushed in, his teeth line is shoved into his tongue. Look, look. You don't think, you know the type of force, bro, that it takes to push your gums and your teeth into your tongue like that? It takes a lot of force, my guy. A lot of force. I'm gonna put it to you like this: Jake Paul is more damaged. I promise you, Trick Nolte. Jake Paul is more damaged than Francis Ngannou. He's more. That right there was more damaging to Jake Paul, who I guarantee you is in the hospital, probably already got the surgery and shit shut down, wired shut, was more damaging than the punch that slept Nagano. They both took a monster shot. But where Jake Paul took it and how he took it, whole shit pushed in like that? Nah, bro. Nah. He cooked. Jake Paul is cooked right now. Gonna be eating through a straw. He gonna be strawing it. Looking goofy as hell. Arsenal. Jake Paul would KO Nagano. They offered the fight. They actually offered the fight to Francis Ngannou, but he didn't want to take it. Trick Nolte. Yes, it was a speed and timing shot. Good punch. But I felt he took something off of it, not to hurt him. I don't know. I don't know. I did not get that at all, man. What I got is that Anthony Joshua was trying to knock his head off. I think Trick Nolte, you already had it in your mind that this fight was gonna be scripted. So you still like, nah. I think he put some of it, bro. That type of injury you don't cause it by pushing some of it off, bro. That type of injury you put everything you had in it. I need you to understand that, my guy. Cause look at this, Trick Nolte. Remember that I told you this. When you get your jaw broken, right? It gets pushed to the side like that chunk, but it goes further than it can, that it should. Clap, and that's what breaks it. It snaps. Jake Paul's jaw didn't just twist like this. It didn't just twist. He got punched so hard that it indented his teeth line, his gum line, and his jaw line. Brother, you're not understanding the type of force that it takes for you to do this. He didn't just twist his shit, his fist rocked into that shit and literally shoved it into his tongue. Bro, look at his tongue. Look. You don't think he put enough force? Man, listen, I don't know what to tell you, my guy. I'm showing you. Just use your imagination to try to think about the force that it takes to do that shit with a boxing glove. I'm gonna put it to you like this, bro. Most people don't even have the strength to cause that type of injury. Most people, you go like this, give me your best shot that you could ever give me, and they can't cause that type of injury with a boxing glove on. With a 10-ounce boxing glove,